was precisely what a bustling bridal party had. Arrived for its Serenity Grove estate, a sprawling property nestled discreetly off Whisperwind Lane. Eleanor Vance, the estate's owner, a woman of 62 with a spirit as vibrant as the spring wildflowers, had christened her beloved property Serenity Grove. With an optimistic nod to the future, a devout woman, her faith guided her steps, her gentle demeanor a familiar comfort to many in the close-knit community. She transformed the once dilapidated ranch into a charming vacation rental, a project born of love with her late husband, now a beautiful memory she tended alone. Her downtown salon, the gilded shears, buzzed with the stories and laughter of her clientele, a testament to her enduring magic with hair and heart. Mom was just fun, Clara, Eleanor's eldest daughter, reminisced later her voice a fragile echo. Always doing something, always with the horses. That was her piece, out there with them. Clara, who had inherited her mother's talent for hairdressing and a shared passion for equestrian life, felt the void of Eleanor's absence like a constant ache. They also shared a deep-rooted faith, a belief in a world made new, a paradise recreated. Serenity Grove was meant to be a physical manifestation of that spiritual hope. On Friday, May 4th, the estate braced itself for a celebratory invasion. Liam and Sarah, the young couple whose wedding was slated for a local vineyard, had chosen Serenity Grove for their guests. Sarah, the bride, had been enchanted by the online pictures, a grand Victorian-style main house with wraparound porches, a stately willow tree, and a quaint guest cottage. It seemed perfect. Eleanor had personally greeted Sarah at the guest cottage. She was so warm, so welcoming, Sarah recalled, her voice still laced with disbelief. Gave me a hug, told me she was staying nearby on the property. The world seemed to spin on its axis, oblivious to the unraveling threads, until Saturday, May 5th, Clara received the call. It was Martha, Eleanor's neighbor, her voice tight with concern. Eleanor hadn't shown up for their regular Bible study, an anomaly that rang alarm bells louder than any fire. I had Martha go over there to check on her, Clara recounted, the memory still chilling. She said, the door's wide open, the TV's blaring, and you better come over here. Clara had raced to her mother's cottage, the picturesque setting now imbued with an unsettling stillness. The door, indeed, stood ajar. The television droned on to an empty room. Everything was precisely as Eleanor would have left it her. Purse, keys, phone, and iPad resting on a nearby bench. Her two vehicles sat innocently outside, but Eleanor was not there. A dark stain marred the carpet. The bedding, sheets, pillow was conspicuously absent from the bed. A cold dread began to coil in Clara's stomach. Then she saw it, dark splatters on the walls. Her hand trembled as she grabbed her phone. Dialing 911. 911. Address of your emergency? Yeah, we have a missing person, Clara choked out, the words catching in her throat. My mother-in-law has not been heard of or seen today. Did you see anything else strange when you went in the house? The operator asked. Yes, Clara whispered, her eyes fixed on the indelible evidence. There seems to be blood all over her pillow. The operator's next question landed like a gut punch. There's 20-plus guests staying in the big house, and there's a wedding party? Yes. The joyful buzz of the wedding party, the clinking of glasses, the anticipation of celebration, all dissolved into a sinister backdrop. Serenity Grove, Eleanor's paradise, had turned into a crime scene. Chapter 2. The Deputy's Hunch. Detective Miles Corbin, a reserve detective with the Willow Creek Sheriff's Office, was an early riser, His mornings typically a quiet ritual of coffee, dog walks, and bird chatter. That Saturday in May 2018, however, the serenity was shattered by a phone call from his sergeant. Suspicious missing persons case. Whisperwind Lane. Get there. As Corbin's truck crunched onto the gravel driveway of Serenity Grove, the scene already pulsed with an unsettling energy. A large white Victorian house loomed, beautiful yet eerily silent. First responders moved with a somber precision. Senior Deputy Williams, a veteran with a keen eye for trouble, met him, his face grim. This is very suspicious, Miles. Something's very wrong here. Corbin could feel it, a prickle on his skin. This wasn't a simple disappearance. This was something darker. He made his way to Eleanor's cottage, the open door, a silent invitation to a horror. Inside, the first red flags unfurled like macabre banners. Two significant bloodstains marked the floor directly in front of the bed. Eleanor's purse, car keys, phone, and iPad lay on a bench nearby, all vital possessions left behind. Her two cars were parked outside. A beige pillow also, blood-spattered, rested on the bed, and more dark flecks adorned the cabinet and headboard clinging to the back wall. What are all these signals telling you about what happened in this cottage? His sergeant asked, his voice low. I felt immediately that she was taken against her will, Corbin replied, his gaze sweeping the room. This is a crime scene. Absolutely. Right away. While forensics began their meticulous sweep, the investigation splintered. Later that evening, a call came in from the Willow Creek Highway Patrol. An officer, sharp-eyed, had spotted something unusual on La Palma Road, a winding stretch about 6 or 7 miles from Serenity Grove. Bedding, clothing. Corbin felt a surge of adrenaline. We obviously want to find out if they were related. The retrieved items, gingham print bedding, a pillow, a woman's dress, shorts, and a shirt, were carefully brought to the crime lab annex. The bedding bore ominous stains. Clara, when shown the items, confirmed the sickening truth. Yeah, it was her stuff, she murmured, her face paling. That's when I knew that something really bad had happened and it wasn't going to be good. We needed to find her, and we needed to do it now. Corbin's mind raced. His theory was grim. Eleanor had likely been wrapped in the bedding and transported, either severely injured or already deceased. The discarded items were a trail, a desperate clue in a vast, empty landscape. Suddenly, a new element descended upon the burgeoning crime scene: the wedding. Guests, returning from their rehearsal dinner, oblivious to the horror that had unfolded, they found their festive weekend brutally interrupted. 20 or more people staying in the main house and guest cottage. These are all potential suspects in the case, Corbin stated, the weight of the task settling heavily. It's overwhelming. A missing person, a potential homicide, and 24 people who had ready access to the victim. The property, once a haven, was now taped off, swarming with police. Helicopters buzzed overhead. K-9 units scoured the grounds. Friends of the bridal party, bewildered and frantic, didn't know how they'd even get back into their temporary lodgings. Corbin, amidst the chaos, noticed fresh tire tracks in the driveway and subtle scuffle marks on the ground near Eleanor's cottage. A narrative began to form in his mind: an assault within the bedroom, then Eleanor forcibly removed. Meanwhile, a forensic technician, Janine, spotted a faint, dark smudge on the blood-soaked pillow from Eleanor's bed. Climbing a ladder, she got a better view. A partial handprint, she confirmed, her voice hushed. The way the blood was distributed suggested it had been pressed against a bleeding person. And the handprint, it suggested a weapon, perhaps used to suffocate or smother. The pillow was swabbed for DNA, a silent plea for an identity. Paradise Ranch is so remote that there just wouldn't be anybody else